Hello there, yes, it's the bank holiday. I guess I'm Washington, hooray. Yes, anyway, yesterday my cat senses were sent a tingling because I read this tweet by Loza Fox and it kind of set up a whole chain of thought in my head. And I was thinking, they're plotting something. What's going to happen in September? And I was sort of thinking back, and there was this odd, way back in July, there was this odd news conference from the Reclaim Party, the Bad Law Project, I don't know, they're all basically the same people, about the case against PHSE. And I sort of went back to that thinking, oh yes, they were going to sue the government, weren't they? Yes, suing the government under human rights legislation. Oddly enough, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah, Loza Fox is really keen on human rights legislation if it might possibly work for him politically. Anyway, they've decided that PHSE lessons are going to mutilate children and cause them irreparable harm, and they're going to throw themselves off bridges when they're 12 or something like that. So I thought it was worthwhile just going to their conclusions. So let's have a quick look at their conclusions here. So the first one, what they're going to be pushing for, and this might be September because the government said they were going to publish a variety of different guides to, for example, being trans in schools, and just generally the whole RSE, PHSE, sex education bit. So their first recommendation out of 3, I won't go to the other 2, but the first one is PHSE, PSHE and RSE should no longer be mandated as school subjects, and this must apply across the entirety of the primary and secondary school sectors. In other words, there won't be any. So there won't be any. That's that. Okay? Schools who would tend to throw things like sex education under that umbrella just won't do them, because that's what happens when you make things non-mandatory. They just don't happen because Ofsted will come in and decide that other things are more important. Now, if you think that that's a good idea, you're welcome to that, but I can see 1 or 2 problems, okay? Perhaps 1 or 2 of you might want to jot that down on a postcard and send it in. Yes, just 1 or 2 problems. But I was also struck, because I'm often struck, aren't I? Not often enough, some people say. But anyway, I was struck by the conclusion from the sage observations of the parental complainer of the campaign, No Secret Lessons, Claire Page, who you may recall was all over the media about 6 months ago. Anyway, let's just unpack this. You can question the premise of teaching relationships, in inverted commas, altogether. We need to try and work out, are our teachers and civil servants better than us, the public, at relationships? Now, that sounds fine on its own. It's got that kind of evangelical, that's important, libertarian, oh, that's important, isn't it? Yes, sort of bent to it. But the question is, are they better? And the simple answer is yes, they are, because they're mandated to do it, okay? Yeah? If a teacher is bad, they will be fired, all right? If a parent is bad, they're still a parent. That's the way that one works, okay? Do they have knowledge about relationships we don't? Why are they any better? Well, for reasons that I stated above. It's not a science, and I don't know that anyone can be more of an expert in relationships than anyone else. Oh well, bang goes social work and any form of counselling then, I suppose, if you think about that one through. I haven't really, Claire, but she's just a campaigner on a single issue. We might want to talk about manners. Okay. We might want to talk about the treatment of people. Okay. We certainly perhaps want to talk about the law on consent. Indeed, which is a huge component of, PHSE lessons, isn't it? Yes. Because it isn't going to happen in biology, because that's not what gets taught, for example, at GCSE biology, is it? I know the curriculum pretty well. There's nothing in there about consent at all. There was a few things about why caterpillars are the shape they are, but not actually consent in relationships. But actually running relationships is something the private sphere should ask back from government. Yes, indeed. You see, we've let these nefarious civil servants take over, and it's the only reason why there are trans people, which is why this stuff is here, of course. This is why the Reclaim Party is doing what it does. It's why Loza does a lot of things what he does. It's why GB News, a third of their output, is basically saying, yeah, there wouldn't be any trans people if we just banned everything, and that's what this obviously is about. You may recall that they tried to get that private members bill through their MP. There's not been a by-election, almost Democrats in claim, but anyway, with Andrew Bridgen, which was roundly defeated, even though the DUP decided to carve in on the side of Andrew. And I'm sorry, but if the DUP thinks sex relationships education or something about sex relationships education is a good idea, yeah, that's an instant red flag, people. Okay, for reasons that you need to find out about, unionist politics in Northern Ireland. Anyway, yeah, I'll keep a beady eye on this. As I say, I was thinking, no, they're not, are they? They might. Yeah, there's obviously something brewing there. I'll let you know. Unless I'm wrong, of course, in which case I'll probably pretend it just didn't happen. Anyway, do have a lovely Monday.